SPCA Florida exists to eliminate animal suffering and to engage the entire community in the welfare and well-being of animals. They currently have a number of grant opportunities to help cover the cost of spay and neutering for pets. All the details are coming up on Polk Place. Hello and welcome to Polk Place. I'm your host, Dion Spires. Today in studio we have Adam Stanfield, the Executive Director for SPCA Florida.
Hello.
How are you doing today, Adam?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent. It's great to have you here.
Always great to be back in studio.
Yeah, you guys are here all the time.
Yeah,
we love it.
Well, and we appreciate the opportunity because it's a great venue. Your followers and stuff, you know, we'd love to talk with them and educate them about what we got going on.
Yeah, and you guys have quite a few things going on right now. Before we get into what we're talking about, the main topic today, I know you're here all the time, but just give the viewers a little bit, if they don't know what SPCA does. What do you guys aim to do in your day-to-day?
Day-to-day, we have a full-service veterinary practice through the Reva McClurg Animal Center. And that is regular, vet checks that, people bring in for their animals, vaccinations, things of that nature. And then we have more of an emergent care facility that treats conditions that are prone to just happening on a day, unexpected, and we do a lot of business there. And then, of course, we have a surgery center with 4 tables that stays busy all the time, in part for the spay neuters, which we're going to talk about, but we also do ancillary services such as ACL repairs and things like that. The parallels with human medicine are really equivalent, and one of the things that you can think about us as is more like an emergency room on the human side, because we deal with all the same issues, the walk-in patients and the indigent patients and things like that. So very good analogy. On the adoption center side, we have a very vibrant adoption center. As you know, we adopt out about 4,000 animals a year. Actually, this year we're looking somewhere between 4,300 and 4,500, up from about 39 last year, which is awesome. Wow. Because not only are we putting animals in homes, but we're also involved, and maybe this is a future show, we're involved with Florida Southern College in doing an economic impact study for us, which is actually going to address the value of those animals going into the community and going to all the different providers out there and what that means for not only those providers, but then also Polk County residents and beyond. So pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's good stuff.
You guys definitely do a lot of good for the animals in the area, and what we're talking about today is a really important grant that you guys have to kind of help a really important issue in the area. So you've got a multitude of grants right now.
We do.
That are going towards helping to spay and neuter animals. So tell me about what you guys have going on right now.
Well, as a nonprofit, part of our funding model is, of course, built on philanthropic issues, and under philanthropy comes grants. Right now, I am the one responsible for writing grants just because we don't technically have a director of philanthropy, although Paula, who's in audience with us here, hey, Paula, she has grant writing skills, as well does Jane Bell, who is our other director of marketing. But as of right now, those duties more or less fall onto me. And we look for opportunities that allow us to receive monies to either provide services at low cost or free to the community. SPCA, we have a large indigent population and people of challenged economic means. So we attempt to leverage the grants to extend those services to them. And from a spay-neuter perspective, historically we've worked on grants in terms of providing low-cost spay-neuters to our community population, and we do have several grants now. One currently is through the Florida Animal Friends program. That's the plate program that people are probably more aware of. That's a $10,000 grant that we received from them. And basically what that does is that provides a $25 copay, if you will, that, although doesn't cover the full cost of services for spay-neuter, does, specifically for cats, for instance, provides a large chunk of what we actually charge for cats. So that's good. And then we have a Bissell Foundation grant for $10,000 that focuses on spay-neuter services for pit bulls and pit mixes. And our community is, certainly hearing a lot about pit bulls and pit mixes in the community, and how they're really a sought after animal, and which is great. I mean, we love pit bulls, and we believe them to be very valuable and good animals to have as pets. However, they also need to be spayed and neutered. That is one of our core focus for our mission in controlling overpopulation of animals, which in turn will reduce the cruelty side of things. And then we have a couple private individuals that give us money that can either supplement the additional cost, or just take care of different other programs that we have available, like the community cat program for both say, for instance, if you have a cat running around your neighborhood that needs to be altered, you're going to be the responsible pet owner, and come to us, and we're going to rent you a trap. We're going to teach you how to trap, and then you're going to trap the animal, bring it to us, and you're going to pay us $25, and we're going to take care of everything. We're going to spay neuter them, we'll ear tip them, we'll vaccinate them, and then we'll give them back to you, and you take them back and let them live out their life just as they would normally. So, and then we also have a trapper, Bruce. We call him Super Bruce. He traps about 200 cats a month out there, just running wild in the community. And we bring him in there, and this program that we have through the private funder actually covers that cost.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so pretty extensive.
Definitely. Now, going back to the spaying and neutering of the pit bulls and the other program, which was kind of general, right, the first one. What are the qualifications? I know that this is kind of specifically targeted to low-income pet owners. What are the qualifications, the criteria that they have to meet if they want to take advantage of this program?
It's general requirements designating low-income eligibility. I think it's 200% of poverty level, basically.
Okay.
But food stamps is one, Social Security, disability, VA disability, things of that nature. And what we ask of the public, even though it might be a frustration for them, but for us to remain current and abide by the stipulations found in the grants, is that we do require them to produce a current documentation on their eligibility for that program. So that may change every year. But again, it's just a requirement for us. We hope that they don't get mad with us by asking that, but we're really bound to that, just to make sure that we're adhering to the stipulations of the grant.
Right.
Yeah.
And why, you kind of touched on it already with the overpopulation and whatnot, but really, why is it so important for people to make sure that they're getting their animals spayed and neutered? Why should that be a priority for a pet owner?
Well, it's responsible pet ownership. You hear about puppy mills all the times, and the conditions of breeders' facilities, some breeders' facilities. You hear about animals just running wild in the street, and people just turn them loose because they can't keep them anymore. And if they do that, unfortunate as it is, and they're unaltered, then those guys just go and they do their thing and populate, and soon enough you have a whole community that's overrun. And actually, we have the sheriff talking on one of our videos, and this is very common speak out there in the public setting, is that the health and vibrancy of a community is really measured by the number of animals that they have running stray. And I think the large proportion of our county is educated in terms of responsible pet ownership, but there are some outlying areas where it gets a little more unannounced, so to speak, and those are the areas that we're trying to get into. But it's all about animal population control to save the abuse and neglect of the animals, specifically as it relates to cats. And this is what blew my mind when I first came in here. Our statistic that we communicate is one female unaltered cat in 6 years can give rise to 420,000 offspring.
Gosh.
And that's through just the number of cycles that they go through on an annual basis, the number of kittens that they have in the litters, and then, of course, the incremental births that happen from there on out. So forget the rabbits, it's the cats. Okay? Cats are busy. And, again, that's where, the core focus of our mission in controlling the overpopulation comes into play, and which is why Bruce, our trapper, just stays busy as all get out. So again, he's doing 200 cats. He traps 200 cats on a monthly basis. So that's 2,400 a year. So I mean, we're just really scratching the surface on that. So it's tough, and it takes money to do all that. So everybody wants the cats to be healthy and out there in the wild, and they do provide a good service in the sense of rodent control and snakes and things like that. So we believe it's the best way to go. We're reintroducing those cats at the most healthiest point.
Now, I know that a lot of people look at their animal as kind of their child. My aunt, she's gone through a couple of dogs, but she had a yellow lab, and now she's got a golden retriever. She doesn't have kids, and that is her child.
Sure,
She spoils
absolutely.
it like her child. So to someone who maybe is a low-income family and they don't have the means to pay the full cost to spay and neuter their dog or whatnot, this grant means a lot to them, I'm sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you have any stories of someone who didn't have the means, but you guys were able to help them out successfully?
Yeah, the stories happen all the time, and I have one here. There's a young gentleman who actually received a pit mix, and he received it from a college fella that wasn't able to take care of it. So I think they actually engaged in trying to rehome the animal, which is a good thing to do. It's a responsible thing to do. But much like fostering, that animal just grew on this individual, and he came to love it. So he chose to keep it, and being the responsible pet owner, he knew that it would be best for it to be altered. So, he started taking a look at his finances, and unfortunately, that became problematic. But, the Bissell grant, which is the pit mix grant, he was able to qualify for that and, come in, and basically that grant's a $50 credit towards service. So he was able to reduce his bill essentially in half, because our pricing model, I think goes up to like $145. So, it's a pretty healthy proportion of the overall cost on that. So, we brought them in, we fixed them, and now they're out enjoying life all together in a responsible way. So.
Living happily together.
Yeah, and actually on a pricing model, if I can, one of the things for the public to understand is this past year we made a commitment on behalf of our board and our business model that we will spay and neuter cats for $75. So again, that's day in, day out cost. And then when you're able to qualify for some of the grant programs, then certainly that will bring that cost down to pretty much near nil. And then on the dogs, our prices start from $100 and go up to about $145. So again, our medical facility, our surgery center is state of the art. So you're not suffering from quality of care or anything like that. Our surgical staff is, I call them rock stars. They really have it going on. Dr. Alex Cole is our surgeon. He's been with us about a year now, and he actually worked for us before. And he's just a great guy, and he's got his staff just humming right along. So we're very excited to have him back.
And so all of these pet owners can rest assured that they're paying a pretty reasonable price and getting quality care, which is
very
so
reasonable.
important.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know I was reading on the SPCA website, I believe I read that you have a couple of animals yourself, so you're an animal lover.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, and that's another thing for us. We're the largest rescue group, I believe, that pulls from Polk County Animal Control. We're intimate partners with them, and we are one of the few, if not the only one, that pulls heartworm positive dogs. And one of the dogs that you speak to is my shepherd, Riley. She's about 3 years old now, and I took her on as a heartworm positive dog, and we took her through the treatment process, and she's fine, loving life. She's heartworm negative now, so yeah, it's really cool.
That's great.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Being that you are an animal lover and you have these animals that are your own, what does it mean to you personally to be able to give back to the community and really help them out with these grants?
Oh, it means everything. My whole thing since being here, I just had my 2-year anniversary, in talking with the board as I was going through my interview process and talking with my staff. Paul over here can validate that. We're all about community support, and we want to collaborate with each and every person out there that is willing to collaborate with us. I think we bring an immense amount of resources to the table to help businesses grow and develop and get into niche markets that they might not be able to otherwise. And you know, I think it's just important for the county. I mean, we started in 1979 out of Mary Stevens' garage, and you know, we are an integral part of this community. And with that, I've communicated to our staff that we will play our role in trying to help out as much as possible. So, you know, I know we're challenged on some fronts for various reasons, but a lot of that's in the past. And you know, we're very excited just about what the future offers to us. So anybody out there that wants to partner with us, come on in. You know, we'll turn you over to Paul and Jane and Crystal and let you have at it.
Cool.
Yeah.
And if someone wants to get involved and maybe volunteer, or if they want to see if they qualify for these grants and get involved with that, how can they get in touch with you and stay up to date with you?
Well, on the volunteer side of things, and on some of the grant information and pricing, they go out to the website, www.spcaflorida, spelled out, .org, and it's out there. You can apply over the webpage or through the webpage for volunteer services. Randa is our volunteer manager. We have 425 volunteers that work with us on a monthly basis, give us about 2,500 hours. Wow. And you know, there's just always something to do. We do a lot of off-site adoptions. So, you know, it's we're a pretty busy facility.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And if someone wants to inquire about the grants and find out if they qualify or something like that, who should they get in touch with for that?
They call the main number, and ultimately they'll probably end up talking with Faith. Okay. She's the administrator over what we call the front office, and her staff are prepared to qualify each individual call on, you know, their eligibility for the different programs.
Yeah. Well, you guys are doing a great service, and it's great to have you guys in the community. Yeah. You guys do so much for the animals.
It's been fun. We're excited, and again, thanks to you guys here. You got a beautiful studio, and we're just happy to be able to share the message.
Of course. Well, thank you for coming in again. We really appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
If you know of an unsterilized pit bull or pit bull mix whose guardian can demonstrate proof of current state or federally funded welfare program, food stamps, Medicaid, or supplemental security income disability, please encourage them to contact SPCA Florida to make a PITS for Polk, Spay, and Neuter appointment. If you would like to get involved with the Community Cats program, you can also contact SPCA Florida, located at 5850 Brannan Road in Lakeland. The medical center is open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sunday. For more information, give them a call at 863-646-7722 or look them up on the web at www.spcaflorida.org.